Happy Friday, everybody. Good to see ya. Whew, welcome back. We made it to Friday, didn't we? We are here. And you know what that means. It is my favorite streaming day of the week, Fantasy Map Friday. I've been thinking about this map all week, y'all. We made great progress with it. Great progress with it last week. I'm excited to progress with it today. I've got a few thoughts, a few things I want to work on as well. And then we'll just keep on going with it, you know? As per usual, put an hour or two into it, improve the map a little bit, keep grinding away at it. It's going to be good. I'm excited. So thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you, and let's get to it. I think the first thing I really wanted to do is improve these islands a little bit. I want them to be more flingy, kind of, out. They're an extension of these mountains, right? Which like swing out here. So those, and then up in here is doing all right. Oh, you know what? I did also see something. Where was it earlier? I like to review the map before I start. Just think about areas I want to improve. I want to clean up this transition point. Well, obviously the transitions we will improve them more. Right now we're still at a very high level geographic scale. We're not doing fine tuning, but it was just too harshly green here coming down these mountains when it really should be white on this side, based on the real world geography you were inspired by for these. So we're just going to paint them white on this side, and then the ground as well. There we go. Get that opacity up a little bit. And we'll probably come back over this with our ice brush. You can see the difference between the whites in here. We'll come back over this later, but for now, there we go. Let's continue this trend all the way down through here. This is the kind of detail work I would typically do at the end. But sometimes you get distracted and you have fun doing it now. So that's what we're going to do for a moment. Our flimsy but fun real world logic for this is the Andes Mountains, which are incredibly dry and cold on one side, and then very wet and humid, trapping air in the Amazon River Basin on the other side. So if these look fantastic, they are, but they're also real. At least, somewhat. Alright, there we go. The other thing that we really needed to do today is, I need to put some more rivers in. We put rivers in down here, just a couple last week. And then we also started working on our Amazon area with all these rivers. So we're going to work on those. Keep them going. Mars Dominator, you said, sorry, let me get my chat up here. You said, what do you recommend while doing these maps? What do you mean? What do I recommend in what way? Keenan, bro doing the map for over 3 weeks now. Yeah, dude, this is my favorite thing to do. I told y'all, I play this in my spare time. Like, I'll literally, instead of video games, sit here and just make maps. Oh, Braden, love the Oasis idea. Someone mentioned that last stream as well. We're definitely going to throw that in. I think that'd be really fun. Alright, I think a cool concept in here would be to have rivers coming from these mountains kind of toward the fjords, almost like the fjords continue up towards the mountains. Mr. Cheesy Puff, the application is called Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you. It's an awesome application. I'm a big fan of it. Insarge, good to see you, my guy. Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. Okay, funny man. Yeah, I've had that issue as well, my guy. I've had that issue as well. You just, you get better at it the more you do it. Thank you very much for the compliments and the follows. I appreciate y'all, and welcome in. Nice to have you here. Let's get some rivers carved out here. I think we were doing it like real small brush size. Little trip. Bleh, I can't talk yet. A little trick for rivers is where you're starting them at. You know, the ocean essentially. I like to draw mine from the ocean in. You know, technically rivers go the opposite way in real life, but it helps me shape them correctly. So what I do is I make them smaller at their point of origin, and then they get wider and wider as they go. So for example, if we're going to start one at these mountains, we're going to start it like, it's terrible, need to be smooth. We'll start it coming out of these mountains as a nice small brush size, and then we're going to double that brush size, and we're going to make it bigger, and then we're going to 50% enlarge that brush size and have it flow into our fjord there. But I was unhappy with the shape, so we fix. And then we'll trim off the sides a little bit. So there's a rough idea of how it works, but we'll pretty that up as well. Michael Alamany, what's up, Mike guy? Just started on Paragon 3. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoy it. It's a fun one. I enjoyed that one a lot. How's law school going for you? Braden, that'd be great to make maps for D&D campaigns. Well, that's kind of you to say. That'd be fun. Court Meme, good to see you. Welcome in. Mars, what's my favorite map? Digital or fictional or mine? Here's a full zoom for y'all. Favorite map. I mean, the Lord of the Rings map's incredible. I really like that. I think author friend of mine, S.L. Rowland, has a map for his world, Tales of Adra, and it is beautiful. I think it was made in Incarnate as well, but it is a masterwork compared to the stuff that I can do. Oh, thank you, Astria. I appreciate that. You're too kind. I think this river's probably even a little bit too big. I think we could make it narrower at portions. Maybe a 4 brush size. Interesting. I feel like there was an update and they changed the way that the Control-Z works. Kind of relearning it here. Look at Incarnate doing their updates when I'm not looking. Sneaky, sneaky. Alright. I'm happy with the general shape of that. So what we're going to do now is make the brush size really small. And then we are going to just fine-tune all these areas. Rafi, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Braden, what's the setting? So the setting is generally a fantasy comedy world. It's very Terry Pratchett-esque. We're going for rule of cool / rule of funny before reality. And it is for this book right here, Wriggly Little Hands, my comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord, and all the ways they mess it up. It's on Amazon and Audible. Links are in my bio if you want to pick it up in any format. Leander will definitely be throwing some bridges in, don't you worry. We're still at the geographic scale right now. So we will first continue making, natural elements, and then we'll get into the... I hesitate to say man-made, because with all the crazy fantasy races in this, man is not a safe assumption. Into the sentient creature-made structures as well. But right now, we're in the geographic stage of things. Mare Bear, thank you for the heart me and for the, what is that, finger heart? Yeah, finger heart. Appreciate you, Mare Bear. Welcome in. How long have I been working on the map? I think this is stream number 4 with it, if I had to guess. I'm not certain off the top of my head. So that puts it at like probably like 6 to 8 hours on it. But it's very much, I'm not trying to go fast. We're having fun with it. I'm talking with chat. We're just kind of having a good old time with it, It's interesting. There's these big lakes here next to the mountains, and I feel like they would interplay with the rivers here somehow, but I'm not sure how. Entropy, good to see you. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Court meme, I do get money if someone grabs the book on Kindle Unlimited. So please, if that's your preferred reading style, reading method, by all means. I like to say, I anywhere that you can find my books is a place that I have determined I'm very happy for readers to pick it up. So by all means, please do. Another thing to think about, and I'm not the greatest with geography, but not all bodies of water need to be rivers that run to mountains, etc., etc. Sometimes they just run out, which is what we're going to do with this little fjord here. We're going to cut this down on its sides, and we're just going to have this water just it just trickles out. It didn't make it all the way to the mountains. Sometimes that's how it be. Jensen, oh, we love our oxbows around here. This is actually the last map that we did. And we got our oxbow rivers down here in the swamp. I'm a huge fan of swamps in general. Wetlands. Slendy, I appreciate you, my guy. Welcome in. Good to see you, dude. How you been? Alright, let's keep carving up down in here. Going to a concert tonight, Slendy. Rock on, my guy. Where are you going? Who you seeing? Y'all, something we did a couple streams ago that I really enjoyed was if you follow me, you'll know that my Monday streams are just Q&A streams for all of your questions about publishing and author life, etc., etc. So sometimes we kind of merge that a little bit with the map stream. So if you have any questions about books or map making or publishing or any of that fun stuff, please do ask. I'm a professional author. I've been writing full-time to support myself since 2018, and I am happy to answer any questions you might have about these topics. So please feel free to ask. I like talking about it idly while I'm messing with the map, I like that. I think that came out pretty cool in there. Also, Slendy, you're going to see a K-pop group called Baby Monster. I feel like I've heard of them. I feel like that name's familiar. Rock on, though, man. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun show. Andreas, it is Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you there. There we go. I'll put it in YT chat as well. There we go. Court meme, you got engaged and you're moving into your house, an owned house on Friday. Hey! Congratulations, Court meme. That's freaking awesome. Rock on, man. Good for you. I hope you guys are very happy together. And I'll put my phone on Do Not Disturb, which I forgot to do, so I can actually talk to you without being distracted. Congratulations, Court meme. That's awesome. I'm very happy for y'all. May it be the start of something great and enduring. The only one who should, this is a map maker, an online map maker called Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you. It is very fun. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Y'all didn't see anything. I didn't just carve a giant, weird-shaped river through my land. Alright, let's keep these rivers going here, huh? We still got more. Glarog, you said, in your writing process, when do you usually make your maps, even in a rough form? I really, what I like to do is I kind of keep the map in my head for the most part up until the point where I can't anymore. So once enough world building is established in the story that I can't just keep track of it mentally, is the point at which I at least make some amount of map. It might be really basic at that point, but it's something at least. So I thought that's kind of when I need it, I suppose. And you don't ever actually, like, I mean, I've had some maps that I could pull up that are just like the ugliest, simplest things in the world. Literally just a blank canvas where I've just dropped down the names of places in relation to one another, because it was purely for utility. This map I make for stream because it's fun, and the book is already done, so that was kind of part of it. Good question, though. I think the answer is make maps whenever you want to. Heck, I make maps that aren't even for books, just for fun, you know? Slendy, you weighed yourself and you're down 5 pounds. Rock on, man. Keep it going. That's awesome. Alright, I think we need another river coming out of the mountains. Should probably get a couple, actually, coming out down into the lakes area here, too. Grayson said, hey, bro, making a map for a D&D campaign. Any tips? Have fun with it. Like, especially if it's going to be for D&D. You can really just do whatever you want with it and make it as wacky and wild as you want. I think of your geography as a vessel for storytelling. Think about how it's going to make the story cooler by having unique, strange stuff on your map, you know? It doesn't have to just be a collection of places. It can be a collection of obstacles, challenges, opportunities, things you're perhaps willing to have your characters exploit. So think of it like that. That would be how I would approach it. 4-6, we'll definitely get you a fishing dock in here. We always do. We definitely will, my guy. Oh, who was that? Daniel, can I see what you got so far? Yes, sir. Let me zoom on out here. There we go. There's our world map as it stands. I think we're carving up some rivers right up here in the... Let's get my cursor. In this top region. Top right. What would that be, like northeast? And we're going to pop over here to this left, kind of top central, get some rivers in there, and then maybe we'll work on the Amazon, or maybe if we're through with rivers, we'll figure something else out to do. I appreciate that, Grayson. Thank you very much, my guy. Thank you for the follow. Hey, if you don't know, we are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, having a good time, always doing something bookish, writing, map, fantasy focused, something in that realm. So I'd love to have you join me whenever we're here. You're more than welcome to come hang out for a little bit. Start the day off right. At least that's how I think of it. Boko, an Incarnate user, my friend. Welcome in. Isn't it a great, just an absolutely great app? It's so cool. Thank you for the follow there, y'all. Appreciate that a whole lot. You're too kind. Oh, nice. Rivers definitely occur in straight lines. Interesting. Incarnate's a little bit laggy today. I'm kind of freezing it with some of my commands that I'm sending it. Maybe I'm just moving too fast. 4-6, that sounds terrifying. When fishing with your friends with a magnet, you pulled up a grenade? Dude, where were you fishing that you pulled up a grenade? I mean, I guess probably anywhere in America, honestly. That's a who doesn't, how can I say this? Who in possession of a grenade has not been tempted to throw it into a lake? Can't say I've ever been in possession of a grenade, but if I was, I think the temptation would be there. Probably this is a topic TikTok wouldn't like me talking about. I think it should be nice and rivery up in here. It's going to be really cold in this area. Be cool, like I can paint some ice onto them, make them like iced over. Even make it a little bit of an island type deal. I don't know if that's a little too much, huh? Inez, the tool is Incarnate. It is a free map maker online. The D-Dog Show said, how do you edit land with such straight, intricate lines? By accident, often. I really want to have natural lines. But sometimes I do a bad job of that. If I were a proper artist, you know, like I would have a cursor and like actually draw, but we just get there with the mouse, you know. I feel like there's something needed in this space right here. Maybe it'll be better once we put trees and stuff in there. That'll kind of fill it up. You don't want to go overboard with the lakes. We already got overboard with the mountains. Yeah. Is that, how do I say your name? Is it it's just an @ symbol with a couple extra grammar markings? Well, thank you very much for the gift, my friend. I appreciate you. I'm going to call you @. Hey, look, we got a tradition around here. If you give a gift, you get a gift. So, thank you very much. And this goblin and this goblin are for you, my friend. Hide all the matches in your house. Never feed them after midnight. And I apologize, your house will never be clean again. They're messy. Messy, mischievous, but cute and worth it. Alright, y'all. I'm kind of cool with what we got going on. I don't know if we need any more rivers up in here. I feel like we need... You know, let's throw another lake in here, though. Who doesn't love a lake? Mayor Bear, in answer to your question, what happens after midnight? All I'll say is, have you ever watched the movie Gremlins? I feel like if we were going to do a lake around here based on the terrain with the fjords and the mountains and stuff, it would be long and narrow, you know, kind of like a fjord. 4-6, you're too kind, my friend. Thank you for the last of your TikTok coins, as you said, and the roses earlier. I missed that. You're too kind, man. I appreciate you. Never any obligation, but I appreciate you. Lisa, when does after midnight stop? I'll leave that up to you. That's you can make a guess on that one. It's part of the fun, right? I wanna make this lake kind of narrow and jagged, not so rounded in here. I want it to give the impression of like a fjord, where it's more of like a ribbon lake almost, because it's got high, steep land around it. I kind of liked that little tip that I accidentally made in there. We're gonna leave that there. All right, I don't mind this. That's okay. We could do better with it, but I'm kind of happy with that. Jake, I'm using Incarnate. It's a wonderful website. Online map maker. I'll put it in chat for you because the name's a little bit out there. Alright. I'm okay. I think, are we happy with the lakes over here and the rivers and the water features? Yeah, Courtney, it's pretty cool that it adds the ripples. That is a setting you can turn off if you want. If you don't like it, I'm pretty sure... Let's see if we can find it. Advanced, and then ripple effect. There we go. So if you don't care for it, you can just turn it off. But I think it looks better with it, you know? We turn it back on. Yeah, see, it lightens up the coastline. And it just, I don't know, I think it looks good. It might make a little bit weird looking in the rivers and stuff. the narrower bodies of water. But I'm a fan. I dig it. Y'all, are we happy with the water features on this northeast continent? Ooh, actually, hold on. Sorry, I asked that question. I immediately had an answer. I want to put a big river at the bottom of this valley, and this is a cold desert, so I guess we're ruining the desert aspect. But I think it'd be really cool to have a big iced-over river running through the middle of this. That could be really fun. Charlotte, the app is called Incarnate. There you go. Court meme, that is a little heart island. It was requested by chat, so we put it in there. Thank you, Raw. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're liking the map. Someone said something about a volcano. I saw that somewhere. Scrolled by. Yes, Max. There's this volcano so far. And it's magma flowing out and touching the water, making new land. But we're going to put at least one more in. Because, fun fact, y'all, this map, the last one that we did, this is a regional map in the same world. So, more like the size of Texas, let's say. And then this is the world map for the same world. So, somewhere in here, I want to take that Texas-sized area I just showed and simplify it and put it in here a little bit. We got to figure out where it'll exist exactly, but we'll get it in there somewhere. I think that'd be fun. Devalium said, "Hey dude, I'm trying to do the same as you do for my D&D book. Keep up the good work. It looks sick." Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. You as well keep up the good work. The world needs more creativity and maps and fun. Yes, y'all, that is Cyprus in the middle. Long story short, my family's from Cyprus, so I like to sneak it into books and stories as an Easter egg. I did a rough outline of the island, and everybody immediately clocked it as Cyprus and was having fun with it. So I went ahead and just actually turned it into fully Cyprus, and we've now agreed that canonically Cyprus just exists in this world. Charlotte, the book is right here. It's called Wriggly Little Hands. It's about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord. But y'all, they're goblins. They do a terrible job. They get distracted. They engage in road rage. They make one absolutely horrible genie wish that imprisons the poor genie in menial labor for far too long. It's a fun book. It's a comedy fantasy. It's like a Terry Pratchett-esque vibe. If you want to check it out, it's on Amazon. It's on Audible. The links are in my bio. Please give it a look. I'm a full-time author, so that is how I support myself. Charlotte, the age range is... I wrote it for adults. It's like adult fantasy, but it's super clean and everything. So I've had a lot of kids picking it up, actually. I've had a lot of YA readers getting into it, which I didn't anticipate, and is making me think maybe I need to rethink my humor, because apparently what I think is just funny jokes for the general population, kids absolutely love. So apparently my humor is a little more immature than I thought it was. All right, I want to whiten up the edges of these mountains because it's cold on one side of them. And we're going to, let's see, we're going to lower this opacity. And we're going to up the brush size. And I'm just going to splotch it in here. Right? We're just splotching a little bit because this is snow and ice, but also a little bit of sand in here. And I want to give that effect. And so the way we're going to do that is just kind of mixing the colors together. See, we got, kind of the sand color going on here. And then we'll go back to our white and splotch it in. And the result is kind of a sandy, snowy mix. And then we're going to grab a little bit of our snow brush and throw it on top. Boom! I love that. Slindy, what's life without immature humor? Full agree, my friend. Full agree. All right, now let's get this big river we were talking about in here. I'm going to do this one like, I don't know how to describe it, but in cold northern regions, you see wide, flat rivers. I'm thinking like Denali up in Alaska. You see wide, flat rivers with a lot of little ribbons around them of water that kind of dry up as the year goes on. So I think we could have some fun doing something like that in here. Charlotte, how many books do I sell each month? I mean, it varies depending on good months and bad months, but Honestly, it's hard to say because some of them are self-pub, some are with like publishers. So I have books that are contracted with Audible. I have books contracted with 2 different small press publishers. I have one series that I've co-written, and then some that are self-published. The result being all of that sales data goes to different people before it gets to me, so it's a little bit hard to aggregate it all. But for reference, like my best-selling book has sold around 8,000 copies with like 3.5 million page reads on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, I don't really know how many per month though. Someone else asked how many books I have out. A lot. Here's some. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Here's some of them. I think I have 10 out now, and I got 3 more on the way very soon. So going up to 13 as soon as the audiobooks are finished and we hit publish. And yeah, should be good. You can find them all in my bio. Links to them are there, and to my website. They're all on Amazon, Audible. You can order them through barnesandnoble.com, stuff like that. Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions while I was... You should make a mountain that is cracked and letting out evil. That sounds pretty sick. I love that, man. I love these cool ideas. Tide and Tara, welcome in. I see you sneaking in. Good to have you. Oh, you put a message in chat, so not sneaking in. Good to have you, Tide and Tara. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. All right, y'all. We're gonna get a little crazy with this river here. I think we can do some fun stuff. We're gonna do a general shape first. I want it to kind of flow. You know what? Actually, we're gonna make it bigger off the bat because I've got a cool idea for it. So we're gonna make a big kind of river that just kind of meanders through this valley. Ogre has lawyers over on YT. Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Your name is very fun. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Charlotte. I appreciate you being interested in my books. Let me know if you grab one, and I hope you enjoy it. Tide and Terry, you're in your favorite morning stream. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I'm very happy to have you. How's it been going? Up to good stuff lately, I hope? All right, y'all, I'm trying to do here, I want to do like a ribbon river. So functionally kind of dry with a lot of channels running through it of little water. I can't think of an easy picture to pull up online. So what I want to do is I need to cut this through with land. But I think maybe starting wide isn't the answer for the river here. I think maybe we start with land and we cut the river through it small. One stroke at a time. We're going to see. We're experimenting. We're figuring it out. Got to do some new stuff once in a while. Zed's Dead. The website is called Ink Carnet. There you go. Put it in chat for you. Oscar, you said, what's the book about? We'll get a quick save here and I'll tell you about it. Save the map. And this is the book, Oscar. Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about goblins going on a road trip to save the Dark Lord. It's been described as a D&D campaign where none of the players put any points into intelligence, and the DM takes a shot after every chapter. I think that was a pretty accurate description, so props to that reviewer. They hit the nail on the head. Scar, the horse's name is Horse, because the goblins named him, and, well, you know, they're goblins. Here's a quick zoom out for everybody asking for it. Ian, who made the cover? The cover was made by Ivan Shavrin, cover artist I've had the pleasure of working with twice now and want to work with so much more. Dude is incredible. Such a joy to work with. You like the name, Scar? Thank you, my guy. Get off my lawn. Start small with the river. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that's the way to do it here. So let's drop our brush size. Aaron, oh wait, that's those are flags. They come through as letters for me. So Aaron, nah, it's not geographically accurate. This is called rule of cool. We're letting that guide a lot of our process here. All right, I think that this might work out for our big river that we're working on. Just bear with me. It's going to look ugly for a minute, but we're going to make it work, y'all. It's a very different sort of river. I saw these when I was in Denali, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. You'll see a lot in like Mongolia too. I don't know exactly what forms them, but in cold regions that are large and flat, you get these wide, slow flowing rivers that are often dry at parts of the year, but they get these ribbons, these channels cut through them. I think it's the most fascinating thing, especially for someone like me who's from Florida, and our rivers are very different down there. You wouldn't ever see anything like this. The app maker is, or the map maker is an app called Incarnate. Oh, Mhart or Elmart. It's made glaciers are what causes the rivers to look like that. Interesting. I could believe that. That sounds plausible. All right, so now it would be they're kind of like this. There's just like a bunch of ribbon channels. And I think what we're going to need to do is make a few areas where it's wider. Like I want to do the suggestion of there being a main channel that flows through this. But it's not always thick enough to be there, you know? I think another important thing is just to have some channels where it's just kind of going off into nowhere. I say, and draw 3 more lines that immediately connect back. Oh, that's sick, Elmart. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's I'm Art or Elmart. Is it a lowercase L or a capital I? I'm not sure. But I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate the geography, topography, I don't know, climate science lesson. I appreciate that, dude. I wanted to know, so thank you. Alina, hello, and welcome in. Hot UK 97 on YT. Hello and good morning to you. Hope you're doing well today. Alright, so here's going to be our channel through the middle. And we're just going to draw this kind of thicker channel that flows through it, but isn't always there. Alright, that's okay. I'm alright with it. Let's start. We need to paint the background color watercolored. That will change it a little bit. Let's get that in there. Maybe turn our opacity up so you can actually see what... There we go. There's the changes. And now I want it to be a little bit iced over at parts. So we're going to lower that opacity. Hannah, the book is just a full, normal chapter book, essentially. Words on page, not a comic or a graphic novel or anything. It does have that kind of goofy comic book vibe, though. I think it would make a great cartoon. So, hey, Netflix, get at me, huh? Alright, so I think actually a cool way to do this. What if the outer channels here, the little, not the main flow, but the outer lines are what's iced over? Like, it's narrower there, and so the ice can take root, but at the central channel, it's less icy. The water still flows. Yeah, you know what? I actually really like that, especially because we can use the blurred edge here to hint at that, essentially. It'll also highlight the main channel a little bit more, kind of showing that water's flowing there, but not in the sides. Am I overthinking this? Absolutely. Will you be able to see this when I zoom out? Probably not. Is it fun? Also, yes. Alright, then we'll just do a little bit, that opacity is probably too high. Let's go back to the ice. Opacity down a bit. Just get us some ice down in here. And then I think also I need to go to foreground, and we need to do these little islands with ice on top of them. I'm Art. This area up here, this is kind of a very cold desert, is what we were going for. In this particular region, but that's just this area of the world. I'll zoom out here in a moment, and you'll be able to see there's very different regions throughout this world. There we go. All right, there's our little islands. Let's get a zoom out. We're still in the the geography stages of making this, so we're kind of deciding what temperatures where. So if you got suggestions for that, let me know. We obviously got a couple deserts down in here. If I pull it out from behind my head, we got like an Amazon area up in here because I'm a sucker for swamps. This is the cold desert up here, though I guess we just put a river in it, so that kind of ruins the concept. We got like an Indonesia, but colder area up in here that I thought was fun to make. Very mountainous. Yeah, we're just kind of figuring it out as we go, you know? What's the place called? I don't know. I don't have a world name yet, believe it or not. I'm pretty bad at those. Yes, that is Cyprus in the middle. My family's from there. It's become something of an inside joke, so we just decided we're going to plop Cyprus right in the middle of this world and just go for it. Stina, the app is Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you. Ogre has layers on YT. You like the crater? Hey, good eye, my guy. Chat wanted an impact crater, so we went with that. I think it's a pretty good representation of it. Well, I think there's some fine-tuning required, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it for now. Shan, oh yes, we're definitely having a rainforest, my guy. We're going to put it in right here. We're halfway through getting the rivers carved out down here, and this is going to be big Amazon basin area. Why is it surrounded with the ice everywhere? Yeah, I don't know. Just thought it would be fun. Like I said, we're just kind of making it up as we go. So we just decided there's a giant ring of ice that surrounds the world here. No reason other than it sounded fun. Yo, what's the topography of this little island going to be like? This is one of the only areas that has no mountains, no rivers, no lakes, no nothing carved into it. What are we thinking? There's got to be something cool we could do with it, right? Let's go to this view so you can see the stamps. What kind of elements might we want to put in there? Obviously, we'll put trees and stuff like that, but like, you know, mountains, hills, canyons, ravines, these sort of things. What do we want? The possibilities are endless. Terrain, here we go. 860 elements to choose, or stamps to choose from. Some rock arches, love those. Some different mountains, outcroppings it's calling it. Got some glaciers, icebergs, crater. Oh, I do know there was one thing I wanted to do real quick. Hold on. This canyon wall. Oh, let me get you back to the better view. This canyon wall. Okay. Just accidentally dropped about 10 waterfalls in a row. This is going to be such a cool place to put some waterfalls. If I can find the right type. Gotta find where it fits on the wall best. That first position wasn't great. Maybe something like right in there? We'll figure it out. Let's raise it up. Maybe a little bit of rotation. There we go. Don't love the rotation though. I think this valley could be super, super cool once we finish it off. We'll paint rivers leading to these waterfalls and stuff, but like, could be a really cool area. Alright, so I'm going to try to make it... The tilt just doesn't work out on them too well. This is going to be sick, though. I'm really excited. I had this idea like 3 days ago, and I've been dying to implement it, but I don't work on the maps if we're not on stream. So I'm just sitting there thinking about it like, oh my god, I can't wait to do that. Jay, we are using Incarnate to do this. Oh, Slendy already got it. Thank you, Slendy. I appreciate you, my guy. And thank you for the follows and for being here, everybody. Here, we'll get a quick zoom out on the whole world map as I answer that question. Someone asked, what is the book about? So the book is a fantasy comedy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord. We're making this world map to go with it. And previously, we made this map, which is a bit more regional specific. This is a little more like directly in where the book takes place. I mean, we have our main characters who are a family of goblins, and they start right in here in their little swamp of sadness and sweaty underthings. And they go up to legally distinct Mordor to have a chat with their boss, and then on to their adventure they go. So here's the cover of the book. It's available on Amazon and Audible. You can find it through the links in my bio. Please pick up a copy. It's very silly. It's very Terry Pratchett-esque, if you like comedy. It was originally inspired by Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the classic road trip comedy, but I put it in a fantasy world and made the main characters a bunch of dumb goblins. All right. Darth Plagueis, I have a question for you. Is it Darth Plagueis or is it Darth Plagueis? I think I've been pronouncing it wrong. But you asked what app. We are using Incarnate to make it. I'm Art. The horse is named Horse because the goblins were allowed to name him, and that's never a good idea. Oh, Titan Terror, you're too kind. Thank you very much. You know what? I think that's worthy of 3 goblins. You give a gift, I give a gift back. Goblins for you, my friend. A whole army you must have of them now. The dinosaur's pretty cute, right? Alright, y'all, I was supposed to be doing other stuff, but I'm just kind of I'm so fascinated with this valley, I really want to just keep working on it, so I think that's where we're going right now. We're going to work on all these, like, ribbon waterfalls. Let's get some rivers leading to them, and then pools beneath them, and then maybe we add, you know, a little more of a lake or something. I think it's going to be fun. Oh yeah, the waterfall fully has to connect to the lake. That's got to be a thing. This one just doesn't mesh with this cliffside well, though. What if we grabbed you, and then we did a horizontal flip? Yeah, see, that's so much better. Look how much better that fits on the canyon wall. Love that. Yeah, Darth Plagueis, it is certainly certainly wonderful to have for this program is great to have for books, for making maps, just for having fun with too, man. I totally just do this in my spare time because I love it. All right, let's get these some rivers in here. Maybe flowing from the hills. That could be kind of cool, you know? Nah. There we go. Now, there's a little bit of an issue you run into when putting waterfalls off cliffs, and that's the cliff that I have chosen has this green color around the top of it. So in order to connect the river, essentially, what you need to do is paint on the top layer so it paints above everything. And you paint in a matching watercolor with it. Like this. I think that color is a little bit off, though. But I don't know. Let's do here and this one, maybe? There we go. All right, let me favorite this brush. Don't lose that one. That's my river brush. That's the same color as the water there. There we go. All right. Maybe need to round out that edge a little bit, though. Let's go to eraser, and we're going to just erase a little bit of this paint that we put in here. Yeah, see, the river's too wide for the waterfall. I need to thin it out a little bit. Whoop, that was a little bit too much, maybe. Ogre has. Oh, I just realized Ogre has layers on YouTube. I have been reading your name wrong this whole time. I've been saying Ogre has lawyers, which is a very amusing idea to me. But you're a Shrek reference with the name. Okay, I am very sorry. What is reading comprehension? I'm only an author full time. Why should I understand how to read and comprehend words? Who even does that anyway? I see that river's still. I think I just need to restart this river entirely. It's still too thick for the waterfall. So, goodbye, river. Let's do it out. I'm gonna do it out from the waterfall. Make it a little bit easier for me. There we go. What river? There was never any bad, poorly made river there. No one saw anything. Other name wasn't available. Reading isn't my job anyway. That's what editors are for. Look, I always say I'm just a keyboard jockey, y'all, and it's the truth. Anastasia, however it's pronounced. It is Incarnate. Thank you, Slendy. You got it in chat. I appreciate you, my guy. That is the name of the application we are using. All right, there's our little teeny tiny new rivers in here. Oh, painted over the top of the waterfall a bit. Just like this, and just kind of touch them together. I think the blue color is off again. It's, y'all, once I zoom out, it's hilarious how tiny this detail is. I should not be putting this much effort into it, but here we are. I always do this. If you're a long-time stream viewer, you know. Alex getting distracted on nitpicky details is, at this point, a foundational part of the stream. There we go. Alright, we did it, y'all. We achieved one river flowing into the waterfall. Oh, thank you for the follows, you guys. You're too kind. Here, I'll give a quick zoom out. Since we spent so long with our nose down in the weeds working on things. How do I make the ridges? The ridges are a stamp. They're called cliff sides, I believe, in the asset pack. And you can just stamp them in anywhere you want. There's a whole series of them. You kind of string them together. And you can make the impression of cliffs or ravines. Like we have like a Grand Canyon that we're going to work on more down here. And you can see the cliffs are just essentially an illusion that you just kind of drop in there with shading and whatnot. And there we go. Back together. I did put Cyprus in there. My family's from there. It was supposed to be an Easter egg, but the original island I made was too obvious, so we just leaned into it and finished out making it full-on Cyprus. So, based on your name, Tassos, sounds like you might be from Cyprus, so Kalimera, my friend. Yasu. Alright, let's get another... This waterfall's bigger, so we can do a bigger river leading up to it. Yes, I'm a fan of this. Greece, okay, hey, Greece, close enough, close enough. My family's Greek Cypriot. Where in Greece? Definitely, we'll definitely, Titan Terra, get some castles and stuff going on in here. That's going to be such a fun part once we graduate on to putting the elements of civilization in. That's going to be sick. You always got to start on the geographic scale. And then we get to graduate into the fun stuff as well. I mean, this is fun, too. I also dig this part. Alright, there's another river for that waterfall. I almost feel like this... See, this is Alex doing detail work he doesn't need to do. I feel like this river, being as big as it is, should be fed by several other rivers. Like, that would explain why it's such a big waterfall, you know? Slendy, I appreciate you on incarnate duty, my friend. Ogre has layers on YouTube. Oh, I'm not supposed to say other website names. On YT. Wink. Thanks for joining me, buddy. It was a pleasure to have you around. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name as Ogre Has Lawyers for the first hour of the stream. Looks like a Diablo 4 map. People have said that. I don't know if, like, I've never looked at Diablo maps. I guess I need to do that. Let's see. I guess I should put 4 in there. Oh, okay. I think it kind of looks like this. Okay, yeah, I can see why you're saying that. I can see why folks. Yeah, it does look similar. Spyro's XP. We are on Incarnate as our free map maker. Lovely website. I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lot of fun. Cyprus is in the middle because my family is from there, and I put it in as an Easter egg, but I was too unsubtle about it. Everybody immediately clocked that the island vaguely looked like Cyprus, so we went ahead and made it fully look like Cyprus. And now we're just going to go with the idea that it exists in this world. Why? Who knows? This is a comedy fantasy. We just have fun with it. It does mean, though, that canonically, Halloumi must exist in this world. And honestly, I'm not sure I'm ever going to make a fantasy setting again in which Halloumi is not an integral part of the world. Life is better with Halloumi. Alright, we got a lot of changes here, so I'll get a save for a moment. And while it's doing that, I'll answer your questions. Folks, what's the book about? Here's the book. It's called Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save their big boss, who just happens to be the Dark Lord. But they're goblins. They're not very good at doing things. So you know they get distracted, go on side quests, accidentally mess it up. It's a ton of fun. Please check it out. Links are in my bio. It's on Amazon and Audible and anywhere you might buy books. Give it a look. I appreciate it. That is my full-time job. Cohen, I wrote the book for adults. Like, it was just supposed to be like a Terry Pratchett-esque, like, adult fantasy. But boy, oh boy, so many young adults have been resonating with it. So I've had readers that bought it for themselves, and then their kids just, like, literally I had one reader that said they bought it, and their kid just grabbed it out of their hand and ran away and read it. So I guess it works pretty well for YA too, but it was supposed to be just like a Terry Pratchett general audience fantasy initially. All right. Y'all, if you noticed, I just painted over a little bit of the white of the foam of this waterfall so that it looks like the cliff is going, in front of it. Oh, you guys are too kind. Thank you very much for saying kind things about my book. I hope you give it a read and try it out. It's a lot of fun. It's very goofy, silly, feel-good book. All right, let's get a big old river going into this waterfall. All right, 6 is a little bit generous. We'll go for a 4 on the brush size. Now, where does this one come from? We got to think about that. Oh yeah, we're working on it. THR, TRH. We're getting rivers for the waterfalls. Here's a zoom out. Alexander, that's very funny. You're too wholesome. Do some crimes. There you go, Xander. There's your zoom out, my guy. Moon, we are using Incarnate to make this. It's a free online map maker. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Alright, we're gonna move some mountains around here because I want some logic as to why this river is here. We need something down here channeling the water that way, you know? Gathering water, flowing down the slopes, making an actual river. Fun stuff like that. Maybe even put a high lake up there. That could be kind of cool. Yeah, mountain lake. I dig it. Who was that? An In Nerds Gamer on YT. Thank you very much for the roses, my friend. I appreciate you. You are too kind. We got a tradition around here. Gift for a gift. You give me roses, you get goblins. There you go. Those are yours now. They live in your house forever. I apologize. They will eat all your food. They will make a massive mess. But they're cute, so it's worth it, right? Thank you for the follows, y'all. Too kind. Too kind. Alright, let's put this lake in here, right? We're going to get a mountain lake hanging out up in here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Hey, what's up, Josh? Happy Friday to you, my guy. How you doing? Rappy, you know the names of the unique shapes, but unique states, but not the square ones. I feel that, dude. The weird ones are easier to remember, but when you get out to the Great Plains and they're just all like big random squares, it starts to be like, yeah, I don't really know what's going on out there. I'm sure it doesn't help that I'm not from that area. All right, let's get our water brush, and we got to paint our pool up here. If I can get to my opacity. There we go. We'll refine this. We're just doing basic shapes right now. We'll get to the refining stage as well. Because this looks goofy as all get out right now. I think what we need to do is move these back a little bit. There needs to be more distance between the mountains and the lake needs to be able to be further back so that the river can be longer. What lake, you might ask? And I would say that is the power of digital map making. Edward, thank you for the follow, my friend. You're very kind. Welcome in. For all the new folks here, not normally hanging out with me, if you don't know, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Always doing something bookish, author, publishing, writing, fantasy related, all that good stuff. Love to have you join us. Why is my tool not working? Because I'm adding land, Alex. As always, whenever there's an issue with this, it is user error. I am usually the one messing it up. Alright, I kind of liked that lake before I added that top. There we go. Alright. Now let's make this pool a little bit smaller up here. And now we're going to do our river that runs to it. I think kind of that shape, maybe. Good place to start it, if nothing else. Might have another one runs down into it. It's a solid start. It's not my favorite. Not my favorite river in here, but you know. SKU03. This is Incarnate. I'll put it in chat in case you want to look it up. It's free. It's online. It's web-based. It's a lot of fun. I promise I'm not sponsored by them. I tried to be, but they said no. Maybe one day, huh? Maybe one day I can achieve my dream of full-time making maps on stream. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, man. Alright. I think that's fine for that. It's still... The pool's too big. The pool's too big for my taste up top. Kind of like that. I also need a little bit, again, with the details, Alex. Too many details. I wanted some lighter blue here, though. At the top of this, where the water is mixed. It's running faster. It's becoming white water before it goes over the waterfall. There we go. All right, that'll do for now for that river, at least. So now we got to do this one. Some rocks at the top. We could do that. That could make sense. I'm going to do another hill for the moment, because I want these rivers to be a bit separate. Don't need them running into each other, you know? So we're going to do it like this. Throw some hills in there. And we could say that this lake even feeds both of these by doing a river kind of like this. I kind of dig that. And again, let's grab our blue, and we're going to paint up top where the river runs into the waterfall. I'm going to zoom out here in a moment, and you guys are going to see how ridiculous I am that I'm doing detail of this fine tuning. It is my weakness, and perhaps my joy. Tom Harley. The book is called Wriggly Little Hands. It is actually out now. The links are in my bio if you want to pick it up. I'll get a quick save here, and I will show y'all the cover in just a moment after I finish painting in this little bit here. Got to narrow up that river. There we go. I'm a fan of that. There we go. Oh, thank you for the biting heart. Biting? Is that what it's called? Biting heart. Interesting. You're too kind. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Alright, so I said I would grab a save. And here's the cover. It's on Amazon and Audible. Links are in my bio if you want to give it a try. It's like a Terry Pratchett-esque book. Very silly comedy fantasy. It's about a family of goblins who go on a quest to save the Dark Lord. But they're goblins. They mess everything up. Someone gives them a rocket wagon at one point, as you can see on the cover. It just devolves into utter ridiculousness. It's a good time. Give it a read if you want. Rex, there will absolutely be big forests in here. We're just more at the geography stage. We're just putting in rivers, waterways, mountains, big elements like that. The next layer, as you could think of it, is we're going to do forest, more hills, maybe a little more temperate weather type things, etc., etc. But yeah, by the way, I was working on that little waterfall in there, right? You can't even see it at this zoom, man. I'm too detail-oriented sometimes. That's all right. It's worth it. I enjoy it. All right, so now we're using Incarnate to make the map. It is an online map maker. I highly recommend it, y'all. So fun. Why is Cyprus? I have to say it every time I zoom out, but it's fun. It's fine. Cyprus is in the middle because my family's from there, and I like to slip it into all the books and fantasy worlds I make just as an Easter egg. But I made the original island too much like Cyprus. It was like a rough draft, but it looked a bit like Cyprus. And everybody kept saying it looked like Cyprus, and I was like, all right, fine. You know what? We're just going to put Cyprus fully in here. So I guess canonically Cyprus now exists in this world, which means I think they have halloumi in this world, and I'm a big fan of that. Y'all, I got a half of a brick of halloumi in the fridge, and I'm cooking that up tonight. You know it. It's going to be lovely. I'm so excited. The things you can motivate me to do with halloumi are, frankly, frightening. Y'all, if you've never had halloumi, it's just simply the best cheese in the world. You should absolutely get some. All right, let's get some water sources down here. Or I don't know, it's not really a source, but a pool beneath each of the waterfalls. And then they're going to need to run together. And we're going to need to... I guess they're all going to flow into the lake. For the most part. Kind of... if I had thought about it more, I probably would have put that lake more central in the valley. But, like I said, we're just making it up as we go, y'all. Rama, what inspires me? Oh, everything, man. Life. You can find inspiration anywhere. Mainly, I just like good stories. I like to read them. And one day, when I was younger, I went, you know what? I like reading so much, I could probably write one of these things, right? And now we've got 10 of them in the world. And a whole lot more coming. Do I have a headset dent? What a funny question. Sometimes when I take it off, yeah. It's looking fine today. I got a mark. Sure, at the end of a long stream, got a little. You get marks up there and whatnot. I don't have any hair, so that was when I used to have hair. It was when it was a lot worse. I'd smush my hair down. There you go. The secret pro of going bald. No more bad hair days because of headsets. Nathan, what do I do with halloumi? I just like to cook it in a skillet. It's like a really dry, chewy cheese that doesn't melt, kind of like mozzarella, but better in every way. And you like grill it up, and it gets grill marks on it, and it's just it gets a crispy exterior. It's just amazing, man. It's hard to find, but Publix, if you have a Greek community in your town, like Publix will have it. H-E-B carries it if you're in Texas. I don't know about other grocery stores. I've not tried to buy it when I lived in Massachusetts. Poe Collector on YT. I'm not supposed to say the other website names. You said your biggest inspiration is shoelaces. That's an interesting statement. Please elaborate. I'm going to do... Y'all, could there be... I mean, I assume there could, right? There could be a... Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to do a little river with like an island in the middle of it. That could be kind of cool, just to mix it up a bit. Oh, mouse button got stuck down there. Twat with a mullet. What a funny name. Any tips for those starting fantasy map making? You started your first map the other day. Hey, first of all, congrats, my guy. Welcome to the game. It's a fun place to be. Tips for starting fantasy map making. Okay, so what I did when I wanted to get better was I looked at maps that I enjoyed in fiction, be it like the Lord of the Rings map, or specifically I looked at a map of the Shire, and I just screenshotted a section of it, and then I basically put it up on one monitor and then tried to recreate it in Incarnate. I think that was a really good way to learn how to, I don't know, just kind of start making maps, I suppose. What you quickly pick up on, I think, is that there's a million different ways you can do things, and it really just comes down to what do you stylistically like? How realistic do you want it to be? Those are all questions you get to answer on your own. And there's no wrong answer there. Daniela, we are using Incarnate. Slindy, thank you for being on top of that, my guy. You are all over it today. Vida says, what about an oxbow lake? My guy, I got you. I love oxbows. I'm from the swamps of Florida, man. I love a good oxbow. We got at least one going on here. There will be more. And in fact, in the last map that we made, there's a whole big swamp. So we had to get some oxbows going on in there. We even have a cutoff oxbow down here where it is the main channel of the river has moved beyond, and now you just got this little lake that's slowly drying up. That was our last map we did on stream right here. This is more of like a state-sized area. And this one's going to be a world-sized area. Zach, no worries if the question's repetitive. My guy, I understand. Y'all want to know what program I'm using? That's totally fine. Please, by all means, ask away. I do not mind answering. Nathan, what's my favorite book from each genre? Well, I don't know if I can do every genre, but let's see. Fantasy, I'm really enjoying The Devils by Joe Abercrombie right now. That is a heck of a book. But favorite fantasy? Man, that's a tough question. I read a lot of fantasy. I'm going to go with... it changes, right? It changes based on how you're feeling. And at present, I'm feeling like my favorite fantasy is probably the Dragonlance series by Tracy Weiss and Margaret... I always forget the names. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Classic starter fantasy, very D&D-esque from back in the day. I grew up on that. Sci-fi, my favorite books are definitely the Expanse series. Blanking on that author name, too. James S.A. Corey, there we go. A pen name for two authors writing together. Love those books if you haven't read them. The first one's Leviathan Wakes. Highly recommend. I'm also a big Crichton fan, big Terry Pratchett fan. A lot of books. I read widely. You kind of have to for this job. What about you, though? I turn the question back to you. How many books do I read an average month? Not a lot, Foster. I regret to say not a lot right now. There is one of my... I have not many regrets for how long I've worked to become an author. The money's not great. It's a unstable job. You never know how much money you're going to make each month. There's a lot of downsides. I don't really mind most of those. The one downside I do mind being an author is that there's often just not enough time to read anymore. So I don't read as much as I would like. And then when I do get to read, sometimes I don't want to because I just spent all day writing. I've spent all day staring at, text formatted in, prose and paragraph and dialogue, etc. The last thing I want to do when I finish is go read more. But audiobooks have been great for that. And I still probably read maybe a book a month, probably a little less than that. Honestly, it gets tough because so many of my friends have books coming out that I'm always getting like advanced review copies and stuff. And that can make it hard to read what you actually want to read because you've always got your friends sending you their newest book. I have a beautiful one waiting downstairs. I'll make some videos about once we get to it. I want to put this cliff over the lake. I think that's really cool. Kind of tucks it in. I really like this area. This is such a cool little valley we made down here, y'all. Should we make the lake larger? We could, but I was hoping to have more ground in this valley, and I'm worried the water features are cutting it up too much. Pirate Cheese. I love Jurassic Park as a movie. I love it even more as a book. I have multiple copies on my shelf back there, including a special edition that's bound in like a fake leather material that looks like dinosaur skin. Jurassic Park was a foundational book for me. I love it. Everybody should read it. The movie's great. The book's even better. Trust me. Give it a read. Y'all, the software is inkcarnate.com. It is a free map maker. And I'll give you a zoom out on the world map. I saw a question earlier. Someone asked, is it a disc world or a flat world? I don't know. It's a comedy fantasy world. We're making it up as we go along. We're literally making lore as we go through it. So you guys get to tell me. You can tell me what you think. And we need to get a quick save in here, so I'm going to save. And while that's happening, y'all, if you want to read the story that takes place in this world, here's the book. It's called Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about a bumbling family of goblins who get sent on an important quest to save the Dark Lord, but they're goblins. Don't make them do important things. They'll get distracted. They'll start a few fires for fun. They'll completely go off on a tangent and not do what you actually need them to do. It's a fun read. If you want to check it out, it's on Audible. It's on Amazon. The links are in my bio. Please pick up a copy. At this point, it's mandatory I say it every time I zoom out, so we'll say it. Cyprus is here because my family is from Cyprus, and I like to work in it as an Easter egg into my stories. This Easter egg was too obvious, so we leaned in and just finished it out fully and made full-on Cyprus right in the middle. Why is there ice around the edges? I just thought it'd be cool. I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool to have a, really nice cold barrier cutoff that kind of stops the world. No more logic than that, honestly. Decks, I actually wrote the book without world building and let the world building come to me as I was telling the story. That's one of my favorite things to do. I don't world build until I need to. And then now that the book's out, I get to really play around. And now that I know that it's getting a sequel, I get to really play around and do cool stuff like this. Which answers someone else's question. Where was it? DePope asks, has the book been profitable? It has. I'm very happy to say it has. Part of the profitability is that I was able to sell the audio rights to Sound Booth Theater, who made an incredible audiobook for it. So that actually helped me out a lot and got some great promotion on it. If you're aware of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, which has been blowing up lately, I'm very happy to say that the narrator of that book is also a narrator of my book, thanks to Sound Booth Theater. Jake Hartman, good to see you on YT, buddy. How you doing? And Culture Closet, you said that's the complete opposite of your approach. Yeah, I know a lot of people like to world build first. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that because I write to sell, like, you know, I'm a full-time author, so selling books is how I make money. I like producing the book is important, and the world building comes during that process and or after. Iraklidios Christoforou. I'm sure I butchered the first name, but I at least got the last name because that's very similar to my family's last name. That is Cyprus in the middle. My family is from Cyprus. Looks like the Avatar of the Last Airbender map. Hey, I'll take that compliment any day. Thank you. Oh, Nathan, yeah, totally. I've read Throne of Glass, at least a little bit, all of Harry Potter, a little bit of Mistborn, etc. Yeah, I mean, I read just like a normal person, you know. Those popular books are stuff I've enjoyed as well. Who asked that? Kay Foster, do I have any publishing tips for aspiring authors? Yeah, totally. Boy, I got so many. That's half of what we do around here is I just answer questions about writing in the publishing industry and stuff. So, is there anything specific you have questions about? I'm happy to talk to you about it. If I was just going general tips, it is to don't jump right into novels. Start with short stories. Submit them to short story contests. See if you can win a couple contests, a little bit of acclaim. Short stories will teach you everything that you need to know for writing novels, but they do it quicker and easier than novel writing. So you're going to gain a lot more from writing short stories than you are from working on a novel forever. Dex, what's the last book I read? I think the last book I finished was book 2 in the Lockwood & Co. series by Jonathan Stroud. It's a very cool book series. Lightly spooky. It's about ghosts and people that hunt them, investigate crimes that have led to ghosts existing. It's very fun. It's a great series. All right, I think I want to carve out some more. Do we want to move back to the Amazon region and finish out these rivers, or we want to go somewhere else? I'll let you decide, chat. What area we want to work on? We got this. Let's get the cursor nice and big. We got this whole area right down in here that needs to be fleshed out. We have this island that has nothing on it yet we got to work on. We could finish some detail work on Cyprus. It's very plain right now. Tara, you think the first one? You vote up here. All right. SEJ, the book is called Wriggly Little Hands. I'll flash the cover for a moment. Links to it are in my bio for Amazon and Audible and anywhere books are sold. Please check it out. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip. Dex, that's a very interesting concept. Rock on, dude. I've never heard anything like that. Tell me more. Nathan, you vote working on the Amazon region. Rock on, all right. Can I add caves or dungeons? Oh yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. If we go to the last map, we did a fair few caves around here. Got a little one right in there. And then kind of like this big gaping maw carcoon pit type thing going on. And my favorite, y'all, I always point this out. I'm so proud of this. We got our lava river right here, right? And it goes into the cave, and I used some advanced level incarnate trickery to make it look like that lava actually goes in there and kind of illuminates the darkness a little bit. So I was pretty proud of that. And then we have a cutout representing this. This is an underground area. So the entrance is down here, right there. And this is a whole underground region that's relevant to the books. Kind of did it as a cutout because I didn't know how to do underground. We figured it out. That was our first time ever doing that. Yes, Moth, this is a map-making program called Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you. I highly recommend it. It's a great website. All right, so I think the 2 votes for regions to work on were this one right here and the Amazon. So I guess I'll be the tiebreaker on it. I'm gonna go here. I've done a lot of rivers today. Let's figure out what's going on in this area, y'all. What do we think? Oh, Dex, the book that you last read is called Mouse. I think I've heard of that. In fact, I'm pretty sure, like, and it's by Art Spiegelman. I'm pretty sure I know the cover. Yeah. I've seen this. I've never read it, though. I've heard good things. Snowy, the app is called Incarnate. It's a free map maker. It's lovely. I highly recommend it. Put it in chat there for you. Jake Hartman on YT, you said, speaking of foundational fantasy, have you ever read any of Jack Vance's stuff? I don't think I have, man. That's not ringing any bells. I don't think so. What's your favorite book by him? Mr. Hartman? Ooh, Tide and Terra, I do love that. We have so many mountains, I probably shouldn't add more mountains, but I definitely do. One of my note, I keep a note of terrain we're going to work on later on in the map, and one of those is people have requested an Appalachia type area with some old worn down mountains and, you know, rainy clouds and stuff, so we definitely got to work that in somewhere. I could go here. We're kind of running out of places to put it, aren't we? So maybe that is where it has to go. All right, we can look at that. It needs a giant parking lot and a Target. Oh, my neighborhood resembles that comment. Thank you for the follows, by the way, y'all. I appreciate you. You're too kind. Let's see if we can grab some mountains here. I want to grab some worn down looking mountains for it, though. Softer on the top, because the Appalachians are old mountains, right? That's why they're so worn down. I know they're in here. They might be under the hills category. Oh. Got my blinds the wrong way. The light's all shining in my eyes. Hold, please. There we go. Little studio lighting adjustment. Here we go. All right, so this is kind of like a hill, but that could work as a mountain. Let's see what else we got going on in here. There we go. This is specifically what I was looking for. Maybe a bit too dark. Can we get one with a little more neutral of a color palette? This one's at least green. Too dark. I'm just going to grab several different colors and we'll fine tune them. You can actually change the color of the stamps and stuff. So that's always fun. Yeah, I think you're right, Get Off My Lawn Guy. They might be the oldest mountains out there. They're very old, the Appalachians. Bruno and everybody else asking, this is done on Incarnate. It is a free online map maker. Give it a look. I highly recommend. All right, what color base do we want to use for these mountains? Here's our options. We're gonna fine tune them, but like, I guess, you know what, the Blue Ridge, right, is in Appalachia. So let's go for a blue vibe. I'm gonna do a lightly blue type deal, and we're gonna put some fog over top of it. I think that's gonna be really cool, actually. So let's mess with the color here. Get something a little blue. Okay, that's kind of blue. Let's get the brightness up a bit. Ooh, okay, that's looking kind of nice. I'm a fan. Some higher contrast. Maybe we drop the saturation a bit. That kind of messes with the blue. I do want it to be blue, distinctly. There we go. I'm kind of digging that. Oh, thank you, Bruno. I appreciate it, my man. You're very welcome for the answer. Check out Incarnate. It's great. And you said, I hope my book's successful. I appreciate you. If you want to help make that be the case, here it is. The links are in my bio. You can grab the book on Amazon and Audible. You can order it from barnesandnoble.com, etc., etc. Check out the links in my bio if you want to give it a read. I appreciate you. Aw, thank you for the gifts. Is that Shaw's? Is that how I say that? Thank you very much, my man. You said, "Gimme the heat," and an I Heart You award. Thank you, my dude. Well, you know what? Gift for a gift. These are for you. Thank you very much. You're too kind. Ben W., I mean, I would make it a comic. I would love to make this book a comic. I mean, look at this goofy nonsense. It'd be a great comic. But that is an expensive process, and I need to sell some more copies and prove the marketability of it. It's been a successful book for me. It's actually my second best-selling now, I believe. But my first best-selling has about 8 extra years of time on the market. So it might become my bestseller, but it's still, there's a lot involved in making it a comic, you know? Plus, you gotta have someone to do all the art. Alright, so we're gonna move these hills for the moment, because I'm gonna have some foothills down here. But I want to put these bluish mountains here, and we're gonna do a cool thing that I love to do here. This is gonna be our central mountain, so this is gonna be the color reference for this area, right? What we're gonna do, I want to transition into this color a little bit, so we're gonna put some other mountains further out, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna change their color so that they gradually ease into this color from the other color mountains they're near to. So here's how we're going to do that. Yeah, Liberty, I can show you the full map. Here we go. There's a zoom out for you. Get my big head out from in front of it. Brian, my book is available just in English. I've not translated it to any other languages. I would love to. Just have to have the international interest and enough sales to do so. Oh, you're too kind, Liberty. Appreciate that. Jake Hartman on YT, you said his big series, him being Jack Vance, was Tales from the Dying Earth, but almost every D&D setting has ripped off his work in a good way. He has a ton of short stories that I have fond memories of reading under the covers. Okay, and that was Jack Vance's? I'll have to give that guy a look. I don't know how I missed him. Megorium, good morning. Good to see you. Welcome in. How's your Friday going? Off to a good start, I hope? Alright, so like I said, guys, we're going to color transition these mountains a little bit. So I need them to be a little bit different. Yeah, I'm messing it up. We'll do it a bit more gradually. King, the map maker, is Incarnate. Brian, if your English is better in spoken instead of read, it is also an audiobook, so you can check it out in that format if that's easier for you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna change my mountains to this version because they're a little bit too stark in color. Megorium, you said your Friday's going good. You're writing your first book. Rock on. Fantasy with horror elements. Ooh, I do love a little bit of horror sprinkled in. Rock on. Hey, as always, if you got any questions about it, please, you know where to find me. Ask away. Alright, I still think that needs to be a little bit fainter with its color. It's a little bit too fantastical for my taste. I think that's pretty good. King, this is a wonderful tool for making maps for a book series. Rock on. I highly recommend it. You'll have a lot of fun with it. I think there was a comment that I missed in there. Where was it? Oh, Sky. I inspired you to make a map on Incarnate for D&D planning. Rock on, man. That's what I want to hear. I love it. Good luck. And if you got any questions, please ask me. I'm happy to answer however I can. I'm no expert with Incarnate, but I do play around with it a lot, so we have fun with it. Alright, I know these mountains look weird being next to the different colored ones. We're going to work on that. Let's see if we can fix it a little bit. Let's get the right hue in here. That's pretty good. I don't know if that's the first transition, but I think it could be part of this process, right? It's like if this one down here is the final mountain, the actual color most of them will be, this is a half step there. So we need to grab another mountain, and we're going to make it closer to these. We're just going to do a gradual transition in the colors, and we'll fine tune it. You know, we'll find what the answer is on this. Where was that? Megorium. You said, who's my publisher? Your husband said people get scammed by publishers. Is that true? Yeah, so any publisher that wants you to pay to publish with them, stay away. Run away from them. That is always a scam. No legitimate publisher will ask you to pay to have your book published. That is called vanity publishing at best and a scam at worst. So don't let them fool you with that. My publisher, I work with several. I work with Audible for a couple of my books. I primarily work with Portal Books. They are a small press that do a lot of my stuff. They're the first one I ever worked with, so they're kind of my OGs, my day ones. Love working with those guys. I co-write with an author friend for another series. So I'm kind of all over the place, you know? Hannah Botar, I think that was, yeah, Hannah Bowater, sorry. We are using Incarnate to make this. Wonderful online free map maker. Zenth, yes, you can see the full map. It's been a minute since we got to zoom out. There we go. How's that looking? There's your full zoom of the whole world. Got a lot to do in here, but when you enjoy what you're doing, that's not a problem at all. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad y'all like it. Been having way too much fun making it with y'all. Hid X, that is Cyprus in the middle. My family's from there. I like to include it in my books in some way as an Easter egg. This one was too obvious. I didn't do a good job making it hidden. So we went ahead and just made it full on part of the world. And you know what? Cyprus now canonically exists in this fantasy world. Why not? Yeah, there you go. I can't see the flags. I can only see the letters for them. But I know that's the Cyprus flag. So rock on. Incarnate is a map maker. No, it's not. It is specifically like for maps and battle maps and stuff. There's another program similar to Inkscape you might be thinking of. That is a general vector-based art program. Also use a lot of that. So if you ever hear me misspeak and say Inkscape, that's why. That's my second most used graphic program. But Incarnate itself is specifically for maps. It's at least tailored to that. I'm going to make all of these mountains here smaller because they are older mountains. So we'll scale this down a little bit. And then we're going to start making our Appalachia type region here. So I need some low rolling mountains. Eventually getting to this kind of blue color. I also need to change these hills to be a similar color. So let's do a quick color shift. All right. Help me remember these settings, y'all. Hue 89, saturation 11. So we'll start there. We're going to go to hue 89, saturation 11. Okay. And then we need brightness 82, contrast 83. Brightness 82, contrast 83. All right, that's close. The hills are obviously taking on the color a little differently than the mountains. So we'll just adjust a bit. And I think what's really going to help this region, y'all, we've been mostly working on the geography side of things. Thank you, Mud. I appreciate you putting that in there. And Whipped Duck, thank you guys. What's really going to help this, so we haven't gotten to this stage of the world yet, but we're going to paint the ground different colors in different regions. As an example, here's a finished map with that done. It helps distinguish the regions a bit more. So we're going to do that on this world map. And I think these hills will take on the color that I want better once I do that. So let's find the color we're going to use for this. Maybe something like this. Yeah, with a lower opacity and a little bit different on color, just a little bit off. Let's see. CJ, Incarnate, I don't think it's available on mobile. It could definitely work on like tablet. I don't think it would work on phone, but I've never tried, so I don't know. Give it a shot and let me know. Yeah, see, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're just going to take this brush with a bit of a bluish tint to it. Oh, I'm painting top. Oops. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. That was why it was messing with stuff. We're going to go to foreground. We're going to take a bluish tint, and we're going to tint this whole area with a light opacity bluish color. And that's going to separate. It's still going to be green on the whole, but it's going to give this whole area a little bit of a darker feel to it. And you'll notice the hills and stuff beneath it are going to take on that color. And then when we zoom out, it'll make it look like a distinct region. HDUJX, this looks so fun. Or low-key looks fun. Yeah, it is. It honestly is. I love so much just putting on some good music, kicking back, and working on a map. It is an absolute joy to do. Alright, now we're going to go back to our green, and we're going to put some green on top of this. I like to think of this as like a wet-on-wet blending. Wet-on-wet painting, if you've ever done that before, like you've done a Bob Ross video or something. It's one of my favorite parts, honestly, of this whole process. Just getting the paint colors right. A little bit more green, and then one final pass with the light green. I dig it. All right, subtle. We can make it thicker, more obvious. I don't know. I'm blanking on words. The program is Incarnate, y'all. It's a free online map maker. Give it a check. And thank you very much for the follows, by the way. I appreciate y'all. Looks a bit like the UK, like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. I'll take that. I do love the Lord of the Rings map. It's a really cool map, so I'll take that any day of the week. All right, let's get these mountains going in here. These older, smaller mountains. They're maybe a little too small, though. I'm having trouble filling the space with them. So let's scale them up just a wee bit. Kind of like in there. There we go. Veil, we are using Incarnate to make this. Ah, thank you, KRT. I appreciate you putting it in chat. Giving poor Slindy a break from it. He's been saying that all day long. I appreciate y'all. Alright, and now I'm going to move these hills out of here, because these hills will be put back in. But at the moment, they're in the way. Craig, yes, it is a free program. There's also a paid tier for it if you want. I used the free tier for a long time. It was totally fine. It's really powerful. I appreciate my army in chat of posting Incarnate every time someone asks. You guys are invaluable. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I'm working off screen. If I'm ever doing that, just shout at me in chat. I do it too often. Oh boy, that's a big mountain it wants me to place next. Alright, I'm going to try a little challenge in here. Appalachia is very nook and cranny-esque. A lot of hollers, right? A lot of valleys with mountains, you know, mountains that lead to valleys that run up into the middle of nowhere. Twisty back roads, you know. I want to try to get that vibe going on in here. So we're gonna see what we can do about that. It's gonna start with just placing some mountains here and there, and then we're gonna fine tune them. Maybe get some hills interspersed, I think. Cinna, you want to see the whole map? Rock on. Here's a zoom out for you. There's our world map as it stands now. Val, yes, Incarnate is free. Or Veil, sorry. It is free. There's a paid version for even more assets and higher resolution and all that stuff. Hey. All right, well, I have 334 changes in here, so we're going to save this real quick. And while it does that, y'all, the book that this world goes to is right here. Wriggly Little Hands is a comedy fantasy road trip about goblins going on a quest to save the Dark Lord in all the wacky, whimsical, and ridiculous ways they can manage to mess that up, because they're goblins, y'all. They're not going to do a good job, but it's going to be fun. The links are in my bio if you want to grab it. It's an ebook, it's an audiobook, it's a paperback, it's on Amazon and Audible and anywhere you want to order books. Please give it a look. That is how I make my living. So if you want to support me, check it out. I'd appreciate it. Craig, you can kind of import a base map. In here, what you can do is you can add it as a layer and then make it transparent so that you can trace over top of it. And then, yes, for everybody, this is Cyprus in here. My family is Cypriot. I put in a very rough Cyprus, and it was so obvious everybody spotted it instantly, so we went ahead and we just rounded it out fully and said, you know what? Full-on Cyprus in the middle of this fantasy world. Why not? So now it lives there. I'm not loving this mountain shape, but like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Omits this just because of that, you fully support me? Well, I appreciate you, my guy. Gotta spread the good word of halloumi to the world, right? The people of the world must know of it. I've introduced all of my friends to it, and I would say all of them have enjoyed it. If they didn't enjoy it, we're no longer friends. So yeah, 100% of them enjoyed it. Alright, I'm kind of digging that. Now let's get some hills up in here. Image generation AI could make this in less than a second. Yeah, probably could, but you know what? I have fun doing this. I don't want to just have it done. I want to enjoy doing it. It's not always about speed. It's not always about efficiency. Sometimes it's about kicking back and enjoying. Alright, I'm not sure what I'm doing with these hills in here. We're just kind of putting them places and seeing how it feels. The good thing is we can always move them later. Alright, I think that's doing alright. I still think the mountains are a little too blue. I was going for a Blue Ridge type aesthetic, but they still stand out a bit much. We're going to mess with the color a little bit. Olivin, you want to see the full map? We can do that for you. We can do that. There you go. Get it out from behind my head. There's our full map. Got a lot in here to work on still, but that's the joy of it. I'm excited to work on it all. Leisha could not agree more. Block Flash on YT. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. We are using Incarnate to make this. Free online map maker. Alright, let's get these mountains figured out in here, y'all. Maybe I need to paint the background of this area a little bit more. I guess we can start doing that. I'm not in love with the blue we used previously. Let's see if we can find a different blue for it. Something like misty. Kind of like this, maybe, if we turn the opacity down. Yeah, see, that's brighter. I like that. I'm a fan of this actually. That's kind of getting me there. We're going for an Appalachia vibe here, so we need that Blue Ridge haze in the air. And then we'll adjust the mountains to match a little bit. All right, so let me favorite this brush. Okay, and unfavorite the other one so we don't have to worry about it. And now we're going to go in and we're going to put some green back in. Because we don't want to fully drown it out, you know? Oliven, the book is actually already written and released, so you are more than welcome to read it. I'll give you the cover here in a moment. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to make the mountains match this color. This I like. Get a quick save while I show the cover. Here is the book, Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about a bumbling family of goblins on a quest to save the Dark Lord. But y'all, they're goblins. They're going to mess it up. They're going to get distracted by shiny things. They're going to go on side adventures. And they might just botch the whole operation. It's a lot of fun. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible. Please check it out. Links are in my bio if you want to give it a read. I appreciate it. That is how I support myself. So you are helping me continue my career as an author if you want to pick up a copy of them, of Wriggly Little Hands. All right, how about kind of like that with the mountains? They're still kind of stark, but I think we might be able to work with that. Fusion Boy, I have read Lord of the Rings, and I am rereading Fellowship right now. Beautiful book. I'm taking it really slow because I think it's a wonderful book to read at at a really enjoyable slow pace. And it's just been so nice. A comfort read, you could call it. All right, yeah, I'm liking how these mountains are looking a bit more now. Ah, you just finished Fellowship for the first time, dude. Rock on. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, we got a lot of folks in here reading Fellowship. You guys got some good taste in books. All right, I think we're close. We're close on these mountains. I'm still not in love with them. I'm not really sure how to fix it. Sometimes though, you just got to let it sit for a while, right? Like when I come back to it on the next stream, I'll kind of know what to do. So maybe we just let that chill for a bit. We'll come back and work on it later. So looking at the full map, we got a couple more minutes here on stream. Anything we want to do real quick? Any areas we want to touch up? Black Sand, we do have volcanoes going on over here. Fun little region. Millie, good to see you. Good morning to you. Welcome back. How's it going over on your side of the world? May asked, do I like Sanderson? You know, I think Sanderson is an incredible author. Really good storyteller. I just don't like the length of his books. I prefer books that are a little bit shorter. I just don't have that much time to read anymore, considering I'm writing all day and or reading friends' books, advanced review copies, stuff like that. So I prefer shorter books these days. Hey, find your smile. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. How you been? The program, someone asked. The program we're using to make this is Incarnate. And Smile. Oh boy, we're really going to hide a duck on this bad boy. We put that Easter egg in. You got a whole world to choose from where you want it to go. We're never going to find it once we drop it in here. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Appreciate y'all. What do we want to end on? What do we want to do here right at the end? Just something fun. Maybe the Grand Canyon? We can work on our desert canyon down here a little bit. Smile, we got a lot of waterfalls going on. We got this whole little like valley with rivers and lakes and waterfalls going off the cliffs. Didn't even really plan it. It just kind of happened, and we leaned into it. I'm a huge fan of it, though. I think it looks super cool. And yes, that is Cyprus in the middle. My family's from there, so we threw it in for funsies. I think we work on the Grand Canyon a little bit. I want to continue to darken the middle of this. Ooh, you know what? Let's do a nice... See how it's sandy around the edges? And then we have a dark streak here in the middle. I'm trying to show the difference between sand and like a dried... harder packed soil. And I want to do a dark stain through the middle of it, as if this ocean used to flow into here and has since dried up. So let's see what we can do for that. Maybe a brown color, a real low opacity, smaller brush size, and we're gonna gently bring that in from the coast. Opacity is probably too low though. Or am I painting on the wrong layer? No, we're painting on the right layer. Yeah, so I think like a little bit of darkness, kind of like this. We're going to bring it in this way. And maybe there was like an old ocean here that's since dried up. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I have a better idea. Or a better direction for it. Let's paint over it. Millie, you have a German Shepherd puppy? Rock on. It's adorable. I hope you two have good adventures. Lots of fun together. Who doesn't love a new puppy? Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I want to lower this opacity. We're going to bring it from this little stretch of water right here that like pokes in. We're going to darken it from there. That's going to be where the ocean used to spill in here and has since dried up. Make it like an old sea floor, right? There we go. Now we're going to grab our reddish dirt sand, and we're going to paint over this a little bit to make it blend in with the landscape a bit. Maybe up that opacity just a wee bit. There we go. See how that kind of blends it in? Now it looks like it's a natural part of it. I'm a huge fan of this. Damon Blackfire. Yes, sir. There's your full map. Dino Nerd, you can make maps like this on Incarnate. It's a free online map maker. Add a Badlands biome? Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll probably do that for at least one of the deserts. If we go to the other map that we finished, we kind of played a little bit with like a Badlands biome, kind of like up in here with these like hoodoos, essentially. And then these like rock arches and cacti and stuff. So we'll probably do something again. That was a fun one. We'll do something like that. The island in the center is Cyprus. Yes, you guys have spotted it. You're spot on. We put it there because my family's there, and it would be a fun inclusion. Do the orcs or the elves control Cyprus in my book? I don't know yet. The book itself doesn't go across the whole world. So here it is, by the way. Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to save the Dark Lord and all the wonderful, wacky ways they mess that up. But the book is live now on Amazon and Audible. The links are in my bio. Please check it out. It's how I support myself. I'm a full-time author. They don't go to Cyprus in that book. Perhaps they'll have to in the sequel now that we have the full world map to work with. So I guess I'll need to figure out who lives there. We haven't really placed any civilizations on this yet. We're still doing geography, but we'll get to putting in the civilizations. Always a fun part. All right, I liked someone in chat. It moved too quick for me to see what it was, but they suggested drawing this water in a little bit. I do like that idea. Pulling this coastline in to follow this shadow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut it up. And we're going to make it kind of splotchy. To show that it's drying up, it's withering as it goes through, you know? Yeah, see, I dig that, y'all. I think that looks really cool. Millie, I have watched Dragon Prince on Netflix by the same creators as Avatar: The Last Airbender. Pretty fun series. Oh, a little oasis. Yeah, I've been wanting to add an oasis somewhere in here. We should do that. We got 3 desert regions right now to pick from. kind of the southern Cyprus area, this area, the south part of the island, I mean to say, not geopolitical definition, but pure geographic. And then this one over here. So we got to put an oasis somewhere. We are using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker. Sung Moon, you're late. No worries. Hey, as always, the replays are on my YouTube, which is linked in my bio. So if you want to see anything you missed, you can find it there. Bard, yes, we are using premium for this, but I used the free version of Incarnate forever. Really like it. All right, we'll go ahead and do our oasis. Let's put an oasis in. I want to carve out a little more sand in this area, a little more of a transition. I don't think that's the right sand color. I have too many different types of sand we've used in this map. There we go, that's it. And also, let me get some of these sand dunes. I love putting sand dunes in. Is it just in hills? There it is. No desert's complete without some dunes. Throw these hills off to the side for the minute. We'll get them back in here later. Full agreed, Kyriakos. Full agreed. Also, you have the same name as my uncle in Cyprus. Alright, let's just get a smattering of dunes down here. And then we'll spread them out a little bit better. I kind of like them being off this way. In fact, we're just going to get rid of these hills. I don't think they belong. Mintos, what's the book about? Thank you for asking. Here, I'll get a quick save while that's happening. Here's the book. It's called Wriggly Little Hands. It's about goblins on a road trip. They're going on a quest to save the Dark Lord who they serve. But they're goblins, man. They're like the worst people you could rely on when you really need something done right and quickly and done. So they go on a lot of side quests. They get in trouble. It's kind of inspired by like a road trip comedy, but in a fantasy world. It's very goofy, very wacky. It's on Amazon. It's on Audible. It's linked in my bio. Please give it a look. And if you pick up a copy, I greatly appreciate it. I am a full-time author, so that is how I make my living. And this is the world that it takes place in. Find your smile. Oh man, you are after my own heart. Not just with your art, but with your mindset. We are absolutely putting an Amazon area in here. It's not done yet, but we went with like an Andes inspiration. So you like this really strong backbone of a mountain range that fades into the ocean here in this little island chain, and it keeps all the dry air on one side. And then the moist air from the ocean gathers up, can't go over the mountains, gets stuck, precipitates down into rivers, and creates this big Amazon basin. It's going to be great. Alright, I want to change the color of these sand dunes a little bit. They're very close to the color that I want, but they don't quite match my desert. So let's get a little picky and just make them a little more orange. There it is. Such a slight adjustment, but I like it. Yeah, see, there we go. And then, boom, a nice shadow. How's our contrast doing? Like that. There we go. Very small tweaks there, but I'm very happy with that color. Can I compare the central island with Cyprus? Oh, it's. I literally drew it looking at Cyprus. I made it as close as I could, and we're going to put some cities on it as well, and towns inspired by the towns of Cyprus, the cities of Cyprus. I'm pretty proud of it, man. It's a darn near exact copy, at least the outline right now. We'll fine tune the mountains and hills and whatnot. Thank you for the follows, by the way. I appreciate y'all. You are too kind. All right, so I'm thinking, you know what? We're painting different regions to designate different things. So this is going to be our like Dune Sea region. This darker area is our drier, harder packed soil. Sun-baked, dried up ocean bed. This area is going to be our sand dunes. So because of that, I almost want to make it a little more yellow with its sand. So let's see what we can do about that. Oh, that's way too yellow. Ugh. How about, that's also quite yellow, but if we turn the opacity down and just kind of use it to brighten the area a little bit, I think that's going to work. Yeah, something like that. I know it's very bright yellow, but don't worry, we're going to paint over it. So we got that, right? And see how it's definitely a different yellow from the desert? Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our basic sand brush, and we're going to just kind of splotch it in here. We're going to mix it together. And the composite color we get in the end will look similar to the colors around here, but a little bit different. And that's kind of what we're going for. It's how we're designating different regions. So now when you zoom out, you can see how the color is a little bit different right in here, but it's still in the same like color family as the rest of the desert. Slendy, thank you as always for being on incarnate duty, my friend. I really appreciate you. Don't feel any obligation to do it, but I appreciate when you do. Alright, let's get a couple more dunes and then call it good down in there. I do also want these to run to the ocean. I really think it's fascinating when deserts run into the ocean. It's just a weird looking area you don't really think about existing, but it happens. It's kind of like I used to live on the coast in Massachusetts, and I could never get over the fact when it snowed on the beach. What a weird vibe that was, especially for a Floridian like me. I would see the snow on the beach and it just did not compute. I was like, that's not real. That's not allowed to happen. Bernard, yeah, here's a full map zoom out for you. There we go. The application name is inkcarnate.com. Find your smile. I hate to admit it, but the reason I don't just pin the mapmaker name is, unfortunately, TikTok really cares about engagement on the live stream, and people asking questions about it is good for engagement. I hate when stuff like that is the case. I'd rather just be able to give the answer, but it literally detrimentally affects how many people see the stream. So that's why I just ask and answer. Not the most elegant of solutions, but the purpose is to get more folks hanging out. Yeah, I like this. Let's get a little more yellow up in here. There we go. I'm digging that. I'm digging that little dune sea we got going on in there. Where do I think the goblins would start? Well, okay, so there's a bit of an answer because here's the world map, right? But the last map we did before this is this one. And this is more of a regional sized map, you know, size of a country essentially. And the goblins, well, they begin the book right here at their little goblin village in the swamp. And they head up north to meet with their boss, the Dark Lord, in legally distinct Mordor, and then go about their journey through the world. But so this is a bit of like a state-sized area, right? Or a country. It exists somewhere in this map, so we got to figure out where we want it to be. And I'm going to create a simplified version of this map somewhere on one of these continents. So the goblins would begin somewhere on here. We got to pick one of these continents. I think, I don't know, we'll have to think about it, but they'll begin somewhere in here. Harry, that is Cyprus, right dab in the middle. The logic there was my family's from Cyprus. I like to include it as an Easter egg. That one was too obvious, so we just leaned into it and just finished making it look fully like Cyprus. And now it's just going to live in this world. So just gives me an excuse to make halloumi canonical in the book. Yeah, get off my lawn, guy. I was thinking that this area could work for the goblins to start. Could be down here. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. Might even make a new continent or something for it. But y'all, hey, I think we're gonna call it there for the day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for helping work on the map. We did some good progress today. I'm loving it, guys. Rock on. They should start from Cyprus as an Easter egg. The map creator is called Incarnate. I'll put it in chat for you guys. There you go. It's a wonderful app. Oh, Jake Hartman over on YT asked, did you ever make the Bullseye Island? The island with a lake with an island that has a lake. I don't think we did that just yet. But we will throw that in there. Well, y'all, if it's your first time here, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, and we're always doing something bookish, fantasy-focused, publishing or author-related, or straight up making fantasy maps. If you enjoyed today's stream, please do give me a follow. I'd love to see you on the next one. We will be back Monday at 7 a.m. Central, and that one's going to be largely a Q&A stream. So if you got questions about publishing, writing, books, any of that good stuff, well, I'm a professional author. I've been doing this since 2018. I've published 10 books. I make my living off of it, so I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about that. Or maybe you just want to ask questions about fantasy map making. That's fine too. Whatever it is, please come on back on Monday and we will talk about it. Speaking of questions, Laura, you asked, how do I make my paths? Like these in here, the little roads. These are just stand-in for now. I just grabbed my sand brush, lowered the opacity, and just drew it on through. But we'll make an actual proper road in there later. Evie, we made the map on Incarnate as an online map maker. I'll put it in chat for you. There it is. Check it out. It's free. It's fun. It's easy to use. It's a lot of fun. But, y'all, we got to do the outro credits. So as always, a special thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the use of his songs Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade, which have provided our background music today. And an extra special thank you to community member Raffi the Engineer, who made our 5th background song, produced it just for the stream, y'all. That's awesome. It is called Midnight at the Round Table. Thank you, Raffi. I appreciate you, my guy. As always, a shout out to my excellent moderators, Melissa Lee, 28, Raffi the Engineer, 1 Happy Harpy Simp, 1X, other name wasn't available, aka Slindy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for keeping the vibes going. And thank you to chat for behaving. Y'all always bring good energy. It's always a fun time here. I appreciate y'all. Lastly, if you've enjoyed the stream, give me a follow. I want to catch you on the next one. I'll answer a few more questions real quick, and then I got to dip, y'all. I am finishing a book today. I'm going to go refill the coffee, and we're going to get on it. It's exciting. I always love finishing a book, especially because I take a little bit of time off afterwards. So I'll be here streaming on Monday, but Monday, Tuesday next week, we'll probably take it off and be incredibly lazy. Saucy Boy, that is Cyprus in the middle. A bit of a fun inclusion. I'm excited to work on it more. Who says our fantasy world can't just have Cyprus in the middle of it? Cyprus is a magical place anyway. Feels like it fits right in. What's my next map going to be? I don't know. All right, I guess I do kind of know. I have... outside of my fantasy comedy, I'm also working on this book right now. This one's out, actually. I'm working on this trilogy. It's more of a dark, epic fantasy, kind of Dragon Ball Z meets Highlander type vibes. This one doesn't have a map at all, so maybe that's what we do next. That would be fun. I'll be writing the sequels to this book. I've sold the rights to the trilogy. Book 1 is out. I'll be writing books 2 and 3 later this year and into the beginning of 2026. So maybe that's the next map we do. That could be fun. We'll have to figure it out, though. I'm not entirely sure. But for now, we're going to keep working on this bad boy until we knock it out. Laura, yeah, we'll definitely put it in places like the Fungal Jungle. It's going to be fun. AVFC, how much is that book? You're talking about Servant of Rage? Is that the one you're asking about? I think it's... I have to double check what it is. Ebook is probably $4.99 on Amazon. I'm not sure what the publisher has the price at right now. Let's look. Yep, so Servant of Rage is $4.99 as an ebook, or free if you're in Kindle Unlimited. It's also $15.99 as a paperback, and it is $23.99 if you want the hardback edition. Pretty standard pricing, honestly. Troll, I have not done comic books. They're pretty expensive to make, honestly. I got to get some more contacts in that industry, and also I probably need a book that sells a little bit better than any of mine have to warrant making a comic book. It's a lot of money up front to do that, and it's a bit of a risk. I'd love to do it, though, especially, I mean, come on. Y'all, this book's begging to be made into a comic. It'd be great. So, hey, if you know any publishers looking to do that, send them my way. Thank you, AVFC. I'm glad you enjoy the lives. I enjoy being here with you, doing them. It's a ton of fun. Thank you for tuning in. Seriously, I appreciate y'all. Chaotic, I do have Inda written down in my notes. I've not added them in yet, but it is not forgotten. I have several areas that need to be added in. We still also have the mountain range with a massive hole blasted through it from some magical accident in the past. We're still going to do a taiga forest, an oasis in the Grand Canyon area, and newer mountains versus older mountains. We actually just started working on the older mountains today down in here. And we're going to do our oasis somewhere down in here. So we'll get there. We'll get to all of that. Takes a little while to get through it all, but we'll get it on the map. Y'all, I think I'm going to call it for here today. I need to use the bathroom. I need a coffee refill, and I need to get to finishing my book. So, as a reminder, we'll be live again Monday at 7 a.m. Central Time. I look forward to seeing you here. Please do come back. We'll start your week off right with some good vibes. And as a last pitch on the way out the door, I'm a full-time author. Selling books is how I support myself. So if you'd like to support me or the stream, why not check out the book this map is from? Wriggly Little Hands is in my bio. You can get it on Amazon or Audible as an ebook, a paperback, an audiobook, any format you want. Please give it a look. It's a goofy comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to save the Dark Lord. But they're goblins. You know they're going to mess it up. Tune in for the shenanigans. It'll be fun. Yeah, Laura, we're definitely going to put that oasis in here. I'm excited to make that. That'll be fun. Ultra Voided, that is Cyprus. Started as an Easter egg for my family in Cyprus, and ended up being just full on in the middle of the map. So you know what? The center of this world is Cyprus. And canonically, that means we get to put Halloumi into the story. So that just makes it infinitely better. 2% better right off the back. All right, y'all. I need to run. Thank you for hanging out with me today. This has been a ton of fun. I hope you have a great Friday, an awesome weekend. Do something cool, or just kick back and get some couch time. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, that's what one of these says. Just couch, couch, couch on it as a reminder to kick back and enjoy some relaxation time. We all need that. Until next time, folks, enjoy the couch or whatever else it is you're doing this weekend. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend, y'all. Be excellent to each other, and peace out.